Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. I just wanted to show you we had done all the burning on the back of the head, and I brought it down to that line. And then, as I said in the last video, we lifted all the feathers from that line down, and I actually burned a little bit more. I still have a couple I need to burn yet, but we lifted all of these all the way down. At least that's what I did. And I showed you that we did this with a 1 millimeter diamond ball, and we outlined where the pencil line was, and that's how we undercut it with that. Then we used a bullet shaped diamond to have the feathers dip inward on the front end and dip down on the back end, so you have like an arc, and that gives you that roundness of each feather. Okay, so that's what I did. The other thing I wanted to show you is I also have these sanders. This is on a mandrel, and I do sell these as a package and stuff like that, of 10 with a mandrel, and they're very inexpensive. And what's nice is you run these at half speed, and you can go in and you clean everything out, and it makes it real life a lot easier. You can do hand sanding on this too, and I don't know if I have the hearts around, but I had heart-shaped sanders that you can go in and get in around the corners. It handles a lot of different, there's a lot of different setups. I even have what they call split mandrels, which has a split down the mandrel, and you wrap just like cloth bound what's the name, sandpaper on it. I use Swiss made, and I sell that too, but you can put any type of sandpaper on it, and then you hold it down with some tape or something like that. But the biggest problem is you want to really run it slow, because they stand out so far away from your machine that there's like a fulcrum where it wants to whip over. So you really have to run them slow. About, if your machine's doing like 30,000, you want to do it at 15,000 or something like that. And then you could come in and you do the same thing. But this setup here is so nice, because you can go in and it peels off automatically and gives you a new surface to sand, so it takes care of itself. But it's rounded, but it gets into those tight areas and really does a real nice job. So if you like something that's going to give you an easy way out, that device is really handy. And I even have them bigger, with bigger I should say proportions of the sander. So if you're doing bigger pieces like a duck or something like that, I have them available too. So just wanted to let you know that. But you want to sand all of this out, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're prepping now to do burning, and I want to show you that next. So I'm going to move down on the camera and show you how to finish the breast area. Okay, we'll finally get to the breast done, and we'll do just a little bit of burning at the top here, but we'll show you that, and then we'll be done basically the body, and then we're starting in on the eyes and what have you. So bear with me. I'll move the camera down, and then you can follow me from there. Okay, now we're going to, we've had this all sanded out, and everything's rolling from front to back on all the way on down, and I sanded everything out so we have a nice smooth surface. that's almost a must, okay? And I'm going to ask you now that what we're going to do for these feathers here that we have, I'm going to put a quill in, and I'm going to come right down the middle of the feather. And that's where the C is. Where the C is, I'm coming right down on the splitting that C. Like this one here is pointing this way. So I will divert the quill that way. And then this one is tilting a little bit more. So I will tilt that one. And then this one comes around this way. And then this starts coming down. So I'm putting these lines in. Now here's one here. I'm coming right down the middle of the C. I'm splitting the C in half. And what I mean by the C is this back end here, okay? And then I'm coming in here. Put one there, one there. I'm just going to mark these out, and you're just splitting that C in half. That's basically what we're trying to do. So trying to accomplish this. Okay. And this up here, I'm even going to do where we staggered it across here. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to burn these a little different than up here, and I'm going to show you that shortly here, but I want you to get all the quills in, and the C is pointing out that way, so you want to go that way with the quill. This C is a little angled slightly, so I'll split that. Then this one comes down this way, so I go this way, and then this way. And I'm trying to get these all to split the C in half, okay? I'm putting the quill here, here. And most of them are coming straight down, but there is some angles to the side ones here. And that's what I want you to pay attention to, what we're doing here. Then we got a small one there. Got one here. And I'm really trying to split the C's. That's my ultimate goal. And like I said, most of it is coming straight down, except for the outside ones and a couple of these. So use your C shape and look where the middle is, and then shoot a straight line down. That's what I'm basically trying to set up. And we're almost there. I'm getting all of these right on down. And this is going to be a little different than we did on this bird, this burning. It's another way to approach burning. And each one, to me, has a definite desire that I'm trying to get from the texture. And I think that does it for most of them. Okay. When we did this up here, we did not raise any feathers at all, at least in this area here, even in the face. What we did is we used the pen to texture it. When we actually did feathering up in here, we went on the leading edge and we lifted as we came out, and then we kept on doing that all the way back. And what it does, it depresses that area in the front on the leading edge as being really dark, and then it lightens as it comes back. And each one is like depressed, so you sort of looks like an undercut, and that's what we set up. And this is a real soft look on the feathering, and we have it in here. And then when we got into the wings and the primaries, the secondaries, and tertiaries, and all that stuff, we put a quill down here, but we burned in backwards. I'm saying we had done this process. We're going to do here over here. So we wanted to show it a different way. This is what I'm trying to show over here. Now, show you how we do that. I'm going to get my burning pen, turn that on. I do have my Optivisor on because that really helps a lot. And I just realized I missed the feather here, or at least it didn't show up well. So here we go. I'm going to do all the quills first, just to get things rolling here, okay? So I hope you guys can see this real well. I've been making all kinds of craziness with my filming here. I have made a couple of videos that I had to do away with because I tend to walk away from my camera range, and I had to redo it again. So I hope I didn't lose anybody. I think I made enough recoups on the video to get you something that you can see readily. Now I'm coming straight down on the quill here. I'm not doing a double quill. Now, in some cases where you're trying to make the quills pronounced, and we would show a double line, one that's straight down, and then the other one's alongside of it that would come in and then meet before it gets to the end, about 3/4 of the way down. We're not doing that on these because we're talking such small feathers in a sense because of the scale we're dealing with here. So I don't go crazy on this. I missed one here, but I'll just get it right in there. When I'm doing a duck or something like that, I will put a double quill in. I should show you that sometime here along the way. The double quill, sometimes even after you burn it in, we would undercut it with maybe a diamond bullet or something like that, just to give a little lift on either side. And some quills, they're shiny, so we would also make like some highlights on that so it stands out. So that's another trick for another day, but that's one of the things that you can do as well. I could see I sanded a lot, but there is still some roughness to this. I think I have it sanded enough that I will, I'll have a couple bumps in here that I wasn't planning for, but I think it will add to the carving. I don't want to make this perfectly smooth, but as smooth as you can get it. And I don't want to, when you're sanding, you don't want to sand to the point that you lose the shape of your feathers. And depending, especially on the rotary one, you can reshape things with the sander, and that's not always what you want to do. Sometimes you do, because if you didn't take enough out, sometimes the sander could help you there, but it's not the best idea. You should be doing it with a bit so you have the control, and sometimes a sander will start digging in on you, the rotary ones anyway. And you should always, I was talking about a split mandrel. I got to show you that one sometime so you can see what that does. I like them a lot also. The only thing I hated was when I taught classes, the mandrel sticks out so far that you have to watch that it has like a fulcrum point that flips over and bends the mandrel in half. So that's why you're running it at a slower speed, and you don't want to press down with the sander so hard because that puts extra burden where it wants to whip, and you don't want to do that. And I used to have students. I used to tell them not to run your machine full out, but most of these machines, when we're grinding, they're always full out. So they tend to turn them on, and no sooner they touch the wood, it whips and it bends and it goes out of shape, and then your mandrel is wobbly and it never wants to work right. Now, I got all the quills marked out, and I forgot one here. I just seen here. There's one up here, and I think I got everything now. Now, what I'm going to do some of the raised ones here. I turn this around, and these here are, I'm going to burn from the outside in to the quill. And I'm going to lay this on a 45-degree angle. And you're going to get a darker burn at the end of the feather. And that will depress that end and soften it some and give you a real nice look on this and maintain the shape of the feather. Okay. We'll sneak a couple in there. And then you go 45-degree on the other side. And this really gives you a real nice look. Now, like I said, every time you touch the wood with a hot pen, you get the dark burn right at that first touch. So, not that we're trying to leave this as an unpainted bird, but it does give you interesting pattern work. And like I've stated before, when I ran classes, I've had people actually stopped their carving at that point and not paint it because they just liked the look of what we achieved for that carving just by burning it. So that's choices you can make along the way, and feel free to stop whenever you want, but I'm just trying to say that you can get some neat effects with burning. And, you know, the bird does look unique just for the way we're burning it. If you do it right, it really comes out nice. Now, I'm running this on my machine about a 5 or a 6 on the settings, but you have to determine what works for you best. Okay, some people like to run it really hot. I mean, and you'll see smoke coming out. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not creating a little bit of it, but I mean, I used to call one guy that was in my class the torch because he liked to make smoke, let me tell you. And it doesn't have to be that way. But I'm going to do several here for you just so you can see this and how it works. And I forgot that we had done a similar burn up on this side. So this, by using this in reverse here and doing the outside in compared to the other ones, it softens that seaside edge. And what it does, it flattens it out and makes it recess a little bit more if you do it right. And that's what I'm trying to have come across here. So it looks neat, and it will, even after when we're painting, you know, where there's a lot of detail in the painting here once we get rolling here. And but if you notice, I'm like flicking it, you know, I sort of, when I'll take a plunge here and come back. You can see it gets light. I'm not dragging this through. I sort of plunge and pull. And again, I make it look easy, and it probably would be if you practice it a little bit, okay? I don't know if everybody gets this on the first go around, but I can't state enough that when I'm doing it, I've done it too long. I don't even think about it, you know. I've been doing this for thousands of birds, it seems like, and I just have a knack for doing it. But for some of you, as you're doing it for the first time, it may not seem as easy, but it will come. It will come. And maybe this ain't hard at all. I'm seeing one area that I missed in there. I may save that to do a little bit of sanding before I get too much further in there. If you see something you miss, I see one here. Now, the burn could resolve some of that, but if you want to get really antsy about it, you know, and get perfection down to a science, before you go too much further, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to, let's see if I can do it with the sander. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see it, but along this edge here, this was never taken down. So I'm just hitting that, and there's another one in here. And what I mean, let's see if I can highlight this for you. It is right in here. I don't know if you can see this. This was never taken down when I blended it back where it was dipping down on the front end here. So what we could do is I just come in here and I just soften it. Now you still have the roll down right into it. Okay, so I'm gonna look around. Just when you think you have everything done, something shows up, and I always move my piece around so that I could see it, because when the light hits it, it looks okay, and then you move it and you get a shadow. Oh, well, I missed that over there, you know. And this is how you see it. You don't always see it straight on. All right, let's get back to burning business here. Now I'm going to come over here and try to get these guys going here. Go take a strike right through here. Like I said, it's almost like a 45-degree angle, you know. And if you miss a spot, you can, as long as you're going in the same direction, and one of the big key things on burning is to get the feel of how much pressure to put down so that you get the same thing. So you don't get it heavy-handed on one side and not on the other. You know, you keep it's consistency on the burn, okay? And I'm making a big McGill out of all this, and it may not be that bad, you know, so I'm not trying to scare you into problems. Burning has a tendency to take care of itself, so going through here, and you can feel that edge that we created, and we're softening that now. It seems like we put it in and then we take it out, you know, if that's the way you want to look at it, you know. But it's all part of the process that we're doing here. And it works. It's just it's I don't know, maybe you can shortcut some of these. Like I said before, like instead of lifting all of these, you could have done this technique all the way down without lifting. You know, that's another way of doing it, you know. It's nothing wrong with it. And that is, now here's one feather I didn't lift, you know, because it was along that borderline. And here's another one right here. So I'm going to burn this in. So there's a transition going on in here, and it could stagger. It could be one up, one down. So I never lifted the C on the back end of here because that's just the way it fell across that line. So I'm just going to go up to that line and strike it in as if it is an edge. Okay. And that's how you handle that in-between setup there. And I missed a little bit, so I'll come back, and as long as you keep in the same direction. So I come up and I stroke right at the end. Hope you can see this well. And coming through here. Now, let's see. Okay. This one is lifted. So I come in here. And I tend a lot of times listen to an audio book or some music or something like that when I'm doing this. I don't do it now because I'm trying to give you verbal messages here rather than me having background music. But I find this very relaxing. And if you notice, I have my hand resting on the piece when I'm burning because I feel very comfortable with it, and I'm holding it like this. And I can position this a little bit because of the roll in here. You have to sort of reposition yourself just a little bit as it goes because you're turning, and it's just I'm trying to give you all the different effects that I'm trying to consider in doing this. And I don't know how many of you guys out there, and girls, ladies, I should say, have wood burning units. These are excellent if you're trying to create art, flat art, and you can literally burn with these and make pictures like crazy. I think I have a couple of videos out there in which I showed how to burn on flat wood to do wood burnings. And just to give you ideas, there's gourds out there you could do, or even some of these birdhouses that you could buy that are unfinished. You can decorate them up just by wood burning it. And you can put design patterns on there. You can do this even on just a flat board. And maybe I'll show it again, some of the wood burnings that I have done, but I've done a lot of them over the years. And I like to do flat artwork, and that's a little bit of a diversion from what I do on the carving end. I do a lot of watercolors and what have you, and I also do paintings in acrylics and pen and ink and what have you, but I always fall back on doing carvings. I may be a little late in calling out for the show, but I think the Ward Foundation show is the last weekend in April, so I may be a little late on notifying you guys about that show, but if you ever get a chance, it's in Ocean City, Maryland, and it's at the convention center there. And you want to see some carvings? Wow, you'll be absolutely amazed. For those who have gone, you know what I'm talking about, and it's amazing the capabilities of some of these artists. I mean, like I said, I'm scratching the surface a little bit, and I love detail, so I'm trying to show you how to get the detail in on birds, and I'm trying to show you just like I would if I was giving a class and you were taking it with me. And that's basically the way I teach. I'm trying to give you all that I've taught to you guys so that you would have the capability of doing what I did. A lot of videos don't always show you all on how to do one step after another. And if the shortcuts are what you like, hey, this is the long way. Let me tell you, I cover it to the nth degree, and I try to teach you how I do it. And I like the realism, and that's what I try to achieve. So you could see this is really starting to come together. And I'll do a couple more, and then I'm going to say, okay, you guys are going to perfect the rest of this just the same way. I'm coming in here on a 45-degree angle. You can see when that pen hits that wood for the first time, you see a little bit of the smoke coming up. And but as long as you keep stroking in the same direction, you get a real fine line in there. And these look like feathers when you get done. And then another thing too, I'm gonna divert a little bit. There's a contest, I think it's part of the show, I'm not sure, where they make feathers out of wood. And I defy you to know if it's real or not. That's how good they are. So interesting, some of the different achievements people can get into with wood burning. And I hate to tell you, I think the Smithsonian's looking for the one I started with, which was a light bulb. And we used different degrees, like the 50-watt bulb gave you a certain burn, and then a 75 gave you it a little darker, and 100 watts was a little darker than that. And that's how we achieved. And then what we also did is we built a rheostat into it, and we could dial up, if you have a real strong bulb, you were able to get a lot of different burns, because sometimes you really want your tip really hot for certain things. And that worked out for quite a while. And then somebody came along with the rheostats that allow us to dial up whatever we want. And just to show you to be different here, you can see this pen and how it is. Now I'm going to do something a little crazy. I'm going to turn this up. And as it goes up, you'll see that turning red. This is like smoking right now. This thing is ready to torch something. I'm going to show you something here real fast. You want to see smoke. Look how hot that is. That is like a melting steel just about. It gets really hot. You want to get a dark burn sometime. Now, I'm going to turn this back to where I usually keep it. And then I get a lighter burn. See that? And then if you want an in-between burn, you can turn it up to, this is like a 7, which is, and then you also can get a dark burn. If you linger too long, you can get a dark burn just by dragging it. But if you see how I'm stroking it, I'm not lingering. So you can get it dark to a light. So I'm going to turn this back to, I think it was 6 I had it on. So I'll do one more feather here, this big one, and then I'm going to let you guys proceed on doing the whole thing all the way down. So again, we come in here on a 45-degree angle, and you want to be able to get down into that, not the valley, but you want to burn it right on up to that very edge. And it's rolling now, so you got to go after it. Make sure you're staying within the body of the feather. Now I missed a couple of spots, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to come in and just lightly rake it. Now I'm going to come over on this side, and because they're rounded, you're going to have to go after them a little bit and press a little bit harder right on the edge, and then pull as you come in. So you want to get those edges down there. And then that's tilting the piece this way. And then you can come back and stroke it through. But you don't have to have it dark all the way up, because this is texturing, even in this light area here. I don't know if you can see it that much. Okay, well, the idea is to do all of this down to the end, okay? And I'm going to ask you to complete all of this in the same style. And that was, if you remember this style here, that's what you want to do here, okay? Same effect. And it's different than what we did up in here. And so I hope you got something out of this one. And this should finalize the breast feathers. And I hope you got something out of this one again. And we're going to be setting the eyes the next time. I may do a little bit more on the beak to get that done too. But we'll probably set the eyes, get that going. And then we're almost getting to the point where we may start painting this very soon. You know, we're getting pretty close. So if you got something out of this, I'd ask you if you would give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And if you have anybody, a friend or something that wants to learn, it could be bird carving. I do animals as well. I try to vary things differently. And if you ever need any of the equipment, the pens, the burners, the grinders, the bits that I use in here, the kits that I have for this bird and several other ones. And if there's birds that you don't see me do yet, I probably have a pattern for that too, or at least you can ask me, because I have quite a few patterns. And I have a catalog, and if you're interested in getting the catalog, I got to get that up to date. I apologize. There have been a little bit of price increases along the way here, and I haven't had the time to get around to updating that. But I do sell most of the products that I use, and the kits are one of the more popular things that people want to try what I'm doing. And if you follow along with the videos, I think it's pretty, it gets you there. And if you're not, and you're having a problem, I also mentioned to you, you can contact me in the comments section of this video, and I will get back to you on a question you may have or something like that. Or if you're after products or a catalog or something like that, write to me in the comments section. Or you can also send me an email, and my email address is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, 7 @gmail.com. And just let me know if you need some help, or you want to show me something. You can send me some photos or whatever you may need for help, and I'll gladly try to get you there. So I hope you enjoyed this section of it. And if you did, I'd ask you again, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, or pass my information on to a friend. And I would greatly help my channel and what we're doing. So see you on the next video, and we'll march on.